We are almost live. I hit go live. Let's hear. We are live. Alrighty, guys. You know what time is it?
9 o'clock Eastern.
Election day results.
Election day results. Welcome to the Around the Home Election Edition. We talk about our top conspiracies in real estate and who actually owns the but that's all. Yeah, no, that one too. Ooh, we are back. Welcome back to episode 5 of Around the Home. All right, this week we've done it 5 months now. 5 months.
Shit.
Has anything happened? Nothing really.
A few things.
You know, a few things.
Chris moved across the country.
Moved across the country to the beautiful
We're covering
West Coast.
all three coasts now.
All 3 coasts. No Midwests. No Midwests. Alrighty, we are about to dive in. We have 3 hot ass contestants again. I mean, look at these studs; they're all bearded. Chris Sui knows he's hot. Look at him; he's just shaking his head. Yes, yes, yes. All right, today we have with us Christian Barajas with a name tag. Can we get a closer look at that name tag? Yes.
No H in the first name. Don't get it twisted.
Yes. Keller Williams, here we go. And we have Sam Carchidi with the I voted sticker. You know, staying topical. Ooh, ripped it off. A little ASMR.
Twice. Voted twice.
Voted 3 times. 3 times in 2 different states. And finally, last but not least, Chris Sui, who's joining us for the second time. Chris, did you win last time?
I won.
Wow. One and done. Everyone's got to win here. Aaron took a break. You know, he really wanted to focus on strategy for the next episode. So if he makes it, we'll surely get something going. Any thoughts, questions, concerns? You know, any before we start and get into the questions?
No, not really, man. I'm excited to be back. I missed last month. Had a lot going on, and it's good to be back joining you guys on here.
Well, you know, Chris, you had a little bit of you were kind of a customer to a real estate agent. You know, you were going through a move and all that. So interested to hear how that affected any of your answers going forward. All right, we're diving in. Who's gonna go first? Give me someone who's gonna go first.
I will.
All right, Chris and Chris -1 for no enthusiasm. Here we go. Sam Carchidi with 2 points added. There we go. All right, question number 1. Today marks the 35th day the federal government has been shut down. Ooh, this is not good. What changes, if any, have you observed with mortgage rates?
I wish I could take 35 PTO days off. That would be nice. But as far as mortgage rates go, things really haven't moved. I believe in the beginning they dipped. I think they're still sitting around 6.15 or something of that nature, but they haven't really moved at all. I think it's just they're also on PTO as well. But yeah, not much movement now. There's not a whole lot going on. I'm not even hearing about any potential deals. So obviously, the sooner the better. We want to open back up.
Sui?
Yeah, as far as mortgage rates has been nominal as far as what's affecting the market since the shutdown. That there's been rate cuts, but nothing significant that's affected buyers' power to buy, and there's still inventory there that buyers can get, and the mortgage rates hasn't hit a different threshold. We're still kind of in the same bracket that we were in before, so I'm really not seeing much there other than what the news is saying.
Christian?
Yeah, I have to agree with these guys. I haven't really seen any effects that directly correlate to the shutdown. Probably biggest reason being that there hasn't been a release of economic data for the market to react to. So, with the primary driver of the economy being a labor market and unemployment and job reports, things like that, we've got this period of time where these reports are not being released. So there's really nothing to base decisions on. So most of the activity is kind of just staying put at the moment.
I love it. I mean, on a debate show, we all agree. Like, might as well free healthcare, free everything. Let's go. Question number 2. We're going to start with Chris Suey here. The question's off the board. I hate OBS. If you guys use OBS, just know it's a pain in the butt, but it works well and it's free. What's something, Chris Suey, in a home inspection report that sounds scary, but usually isn't?
I'd say in New Jersey, termites, because everyone finds termites. Termite damage is one thing, but if you have a termite inspection and there's no damage and um, it's just termite presence and they haven't actually affected the structure. Um, Even if they didn't find it, you could probably assume in New Jersey there's probably termites somewhere. So I would say that's nothing to be scared of, but just something to monitor.
Krishan?
Yep. I have to say, in Texas, we've got some pretty poor soil for building homes on, at least in my area of Texas. And what I see on almost every single home inspection report is something along the lines of foundation settling or foundation movement. And where I live in Texas, well, I just moved from Texas, but where I've been doing business in Texas, you're going to get that on every single structure. And it may mean something. You got to look into it, of course, but the vast majority of the time it doesn't produce anything that's worth getting worked up about.
Before we get into Sam, bonus question for Chris. I mean, what is do you know the chemical makeup of the soil that causes that, or is
Tons
it
of limestone, caliche, clay, sand. I mean, you name it, anywhere around San Antonio, for the most part, you're going to find some sort of soil around there that's going to affect foundation and movement. You're always going to see those stress cracks and broken pieces of parchment coat, things like that.
Good to know. Interesting. Sammy?
Yeah, we get them all the time. The GFCI outlets. I feel like every inspection report, anything near a sink, needs. I think it's what's code, 4 feet, 3 feet, something like that.
6 feet.
People always 6 feet. People always think it's some big deal. It's a quick fix. It's actually a pretty cheap fix. But really, in the inspection report, anything cosmetic, I'm not even really looking at. I'm looking at the big ticket items. Things that are going to cost a lot, whether it's the roof or the HVAC system, plumbing, electric, stuff like that. So.
What was that called? A GFC? What is that? What the hell is that?
GFCI. It's basically an outlet that can be connected, and if you stick your finger in it and your finger is wet, it'll automatically trip every outlet that's connected to it. So it's a safety issue. Definitely important, but it's not for one reason or another. Contractors don't like them, and then it always ends up falling on the seller, usually to give a credit or replace them.
So it's for the Aarons cooking their buttered pasta for the team dinner, and accidentally maybe hitting outlets with your fingers. Interesting. Okay, again, wow.
Yeah, ground fault. I think it's ground fault circuit interrupter, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody fact check me on that.
We need a fact check, but right. He's getting points for it. He sounded confident. This is a world where confidence wins. Not the right answer. It's about confidence.
Let's all Amazon Aaron some GFCI outlets after this.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. This is a little tight budget show. Government shutdown, not getting my EBT, but we'll circle back on during episode 6. Okay, last question of the final round, and then I have a question in between. But what's one renovation that almost never pays for itself, but people keep doing it anyway?
Is that me?
It can be you.
Let's see. I'm going to say renovations that are overly personal, such as man caves. Very few folks actually want a man cave, and if they do want a man cave, it's generally not set up the way that they want it. So please don't turn your basement or your fourth bedroom into a man cave. Um, Nobody wants to smell the beer stank and the cigars, stuck in the drywall that smell of cigars, things like that. So it's really not attractive for resale value. Um, yeah, man caves, just quit, man. This isn't the '70s anymore.
I agree. I mean, I don't care about a finished basement. I don't want to be sitting in a dungeon, rotting away on my couch. So, Chris, I agree with you on that. Suey?
So I would say that it would be in New Jersey, any renovation that's a major ticket renovation that's done without a permit. More and more they're really coming after you. I think I just heard the first case of someone, I think it was in Margate. Someone got their whole house refunded because the builder built the house without permits, which is crazy because I probably know a handful of guys in Philly that just been doing it for years. They don't care, but Jersey's a whole different ball game. And I mean, it'll, even if it doesn't cost you financially, um, a lot of times when they make you go to the permit process after the fact, they're just assholes about it, and it takes very long. Um, Typically scares the buyer away. They wonder why you didn't get a permit in the first place. The culture in Jersey is different than other states where I'm also licensed in Philly, where hey, if you get away with it, most of the buyers don't care. As long as it
Yeah.
passes the home inspection. In Jersey, everyone's walking on eggshells. They want to make sure everything's permitted because if it's not, it could take a year to retroactively get the permits depending on how big of a project it was.
That is fascinating. I mean, I know in New York, like you need
They don't
obviously.
care. Chinatown, New York, build whatever you want.
Oh, I'm sure that's intense. I'm thinking of a time I've heard. Now I'm slipping my mind, but if it's not a certificate of occupancy because there's a quote unquote illegal build, like you can't list that, you
Mhm.
can't sell that. It's really not even up to the two parties. I'm pretty sure it's just the state is like, no, this doesn't go. Sam, what do you got for us? Climb back in
Yeah,
here.
shout out to the she sheds too. Designer lights is one thing that I see. I mean, Yanni, we looked at properties today and we saw how many of these like wacky light fixtures were. I'm not even sure what they're thinking when they're buying. They're like weird figure eights and they're super bright and they just don't add anything. And it's like you have to have super particular taste and it's not adding value. It's almost like people are going to take them down like the first day they get in there. So
People have no
designer,
taste. That's the
people have no
thing.
taste.
People
And
have no
my
taste.
my mentor would say you could see that this was designed by a man because the way some of the finishes
Wow.
are.
Controversy in episode 5. Controversy in episode
Shout out
5.
to Capri.
Shout out Capri. Capri wear capris or
Probably, yeah.
probably okay. Good for Capri. I love it. Okay. After round 1, we have 15, 13, 15. So Chris and Chris are tied. They're actually like Siamese twins on this. They might not even be able to separate because they have the same first name, but no H. And Sam, you're still fighting. You're only 2 back. So we're gonna give you the first question in round number 2. Here we go. By the way, we're getting ad spots in here for no audience. We're just gonna get ad spots, and we're gonna start reading 30-second ads and then selling them for thousands of dollars and no views. Okay, question number 4. Again, off the screen. Thank you, OBS. Shout out to this free platform. When selling a home, is it better to price aggressively low to spark competition or price high and negotiate down? You better answer this correctly.
Well, and me, right? It
Yes.
depends on the market. And Phil and well, I'm gonna go through 2 different markets for you. In New Jersey, in the suburbs, still on fire, 10 offers over asking, better to price low, let everyone bid it up, get into the Zillow filters Some people set it at 300, so you want to be priced at 299. Make sure that you're in there. If you're in Philly, average day on market's around 50 days. You want to price it right. Give yourself a little bit of room to negotiate, especially if it's an older home. They're going to need some repairs. Maybe the hot water heater is going to. So it's all market specific. And in a seller's market, I'm definitely pricing around or a little low. But in a balanced market like Philly is, I'm pricing about right on, or giving myself some wiggle room.
Who's jumping on? None of you boys are jumping on. Minus points.
Yeah, look, when you're selling a home, I'll just give you just an example of something that I did fairly recently on the listing side. CMA came back at 300,000. I had a discussion with the seller. We ended up listing it at 290, and she was not convinced at first. And we went through some of the data, and she said, "Okay, I trust this. Let's do this. It's still within the ballpark, and for sure it's going to appraise." And she had great equity, so it's, she wasn't risking too much. Well, we ended up going under contract and selling that house for 310. So we listed it under the CMA, fairly low, not crazy low, but 10 grand under the CMA, and she sold it for 10 grand over the CMA, and it just barely appraised. So depending on the market, again, back to Sam's answer, it does depend on the market for sure. But my most recent experience, pricing aggressively low can certainly spark some awesome competition that can really get your seller out on top, and really the net is the bottom line, right? And she was super happy. So and that house sold in 72 hours, mind you.
How many offers you have?
We had 6 offers.
Yeah, there you go.
Here we go. So
I would kind of piggyback off of that, saying it's situational for sure. I'd say most of the time you'd want to price it low if it's a normal or somewhat close to a normal market, because like as Sam said, you catch the Zillow algorithm, people are shopping online, more views online, more people come to your open house, come to the showing, more offers you get. But it's all depends on the strategy. If you have an occupied property, that the guy's maybe not super motivated to sell, and it might be vacant in 6 months, and you know that you're going to get this number then yeah, you could list it early and see if someone's going to jump on it on that sense, or if you feel the market turning one way or the other. And if you have time, so if you have time, you kind of start high, and people won't beat you up, because you have no need to sell. You're just seeing what the market can get you. But if you want to sell, you got to price it at market value or low, or else you're kicking yourself in the foot unless it's a special circumstance.
now, my question on that is, can I price too low, and then does it scare people away?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Really?
Some markets, yeah.
Yeah, and they won't. I mean,
I don't know if it necessarily scares people away, but if you think that you're going to get, it is risky. Like Chris was talking about it. Chris John was talking about a seller, because if you price low and maybe that you didn't interpret the data correctly, you could end up getting less for the property for your seller, because there wasn't as much interest as you thought that there was going to be. Yeah. So it could really shoot you in the foot if you don't do your due diligence. I'm sure Chris John did in that situation where he knew that he was going to have multiple offers. It sat on the market for 3 days, and he got 6 offers out of it. But it definitely could shoot you in the foot, pricing too low.
If you price way too low, that's just bad news. That's bad for business, because if I'm a buyer, my first thought is, wow, look at this beautiful home. Why is it priced so low? There's got to be something wrong with it.
But you don't think people go see it anyway, and then
Well, you might be dealing with a different buyer pool at that point. So you may pull some buyers who see it and they're like, wow, that's an amazing home, and holy cow, look at this amazing deal, right? But if you're pulling buyers from that pool, like, you're not going to have a whole lot of folks who are driving up the price.
No.
Yeah.
they're already in a lower bracket when it comes to their their buying power. So you got to be careful.
I just real quick, I saw an interesting story on Twitter. It was actually today where this home was listed in San Francisco and it was listed at $3.5 million. It was a multifamily, and it was on for I think like 3 months, and the agent decided to lower it all the way down to $1 million, and that was like a steal. And he ended up getting over $4 million for his seller because it attracted so much attention because of the huge price drop.
Wow.
And it had been on for 90 plus days. So it was an interesting strategy. I don't know if I would recommend that every time,
It's a
but
bold strategy.
yeah, it was, and it worked. You could see, and they screenshotted the days on market, and then the price changes, and they started at like 3.7, came down to 3.5, then they went down to $1 million, and it went to 4. So it was
Hey,
interesting.
at the
strategy.
end of the day, the seller doesn't have to accept an offer.
Right? Yeah, that's also
So-
true. If you price it too low, you don't have to accept
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
So
See what happens.
Risky market, guys. Oh man, here we go. Alrighty, Chrisoy, I'm coming to you first. If Zillow had dating profiles, we're just talking about Zillow and the algorithm. What would your turnoffs be?
They would be messy home, clutter, personalized items, poor landscaping, angry sellers, mean neighbors. I'd say more nosy neighbors. Really bad construction on office for the CO.
wow.
Yeah, that's it. Basically.
Picky dater. You single? You single, Chris? Ladies
Yeah,
out there, what do we got?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, see, there we go.
Yes,
See,
sir.
guy
I'm
knows
market.
guy knows what he wants. Guy knows what he wants. Christian?
Yeah. If I see the word cozy in the description, we both know what that means. All right. Look, if the personality doesn't match the square footage, we got issues. I'm swiping. What? Swiping left? I don't know. Do I swipe
I
left?
don't know.
Yeah, you swipe left. That's
Left.
Chris, a married man, so he's playing it cool right here. Not knowing how these apps work. Yeah, I appreciate that too, Chris. Sammy boy, where we at?
I'm gonna say carpeted bathrooms.
Oh,
I think we can
gosh.
all. I
Carpeted
think we can all imagine why, but yeah, carpeted bathrooms, huge turn off. I don't think you can get a carpet cleaner really around those edges. So
No. You have to firebomb that place. That's carpeted bathrooms are next level. Alrighty, we're gonna have a little more fun on this one, and let's see who's the sports guy here. We'll go with Sam Carchidi again. Which football coach would you trust the most to flip your house?
which football coach? Well, it's definitely not Chip Kelly because he's going too quick and he's missing all these details. We'll go Andy Reid. He's system oriented. He's got the West Coast offense, detail oriented, champion. He's been there, done that. Going Andy Reid.
All right, Andy Reid. Suey?
Champ.
We going current coaches.
It can be a dead coach, coach
Oh, wow,
high
okay,
school
okay.
coach,
I'd
college.
say definitely not Andy Reid. He'll probably his timeline will probably be blown out. He doesn't know how many timeouts he has.
Time management. That's good.
Yeah,
actually
he'll
pretty
probably
good,
run the
Kelly.
budget. But I gotta go Belichick. I mean, he just is super conservative, never loses a game, makes the right decisions, stays the course, has the culture. Gotta go Belichick.
Willing to adapt,
decisions.
younger girlfriend who has a better taste of
Younger
the
girlfriend,
cultural things that are happening, how to market something on social. I really love that answer, Chris. Chris, without an H, your turn.
Yeah. Okay, so going back to the Chiefs, is Matt Nagy on the Chiefs? Is he? He's
Oh
defensive
my
coordinator for the Chiefs, isn't he?
I don't know.
Matt
Is
Nagy-
Brock Purdy in cooking school or?
I believe Matt Nagy is the defensive coordinator for the Chiefs, or he was last year at least.
He's
I'm
definitely
fact-checking
not.
that
I've
word.
I've heard,
He's
and
definitely
Aaron
not.
can fact check me on this. Aaron can fact check me. I heard that either used to
Offensive coordinator.
manage properties, or no, he used to be like a new sales rep for a builder. I don't know what builder, but he's got to have experience. He's got to have connections. It's all about who you know in real estate. He's going to know the guys that go in. He's not swinging the hammer himself. He's building a team that's going to come in and create a lucrative flip. And he's a journeyman, so he's going to be on to the next.
Yeah,
All right,
Matt
just
Nagy.
fact checking. That's actually true.
No, it's a
From selling homes to the NFL, how an angel helped Matt Nagy.
Excellent.
Matt Nagy has a history in real estate, having worked
Angel
in,
Construction.
having worked in new home sales at Keystone Custom Homes
Okay.
for several
right.
years before making a career change to football coaching. He left the real estate business to pursue a coaching opportunity with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Amazing.
that's a
Following his
huge-
dreams.
That's a huge nugget of information. He is the offensive coordinator. I don't know if anyone caught that as well. but
Offensive. Got it.
Offensive coordinator.
I stand corrected.
Wow, that's great. That was a fun answer. All right, let's take a deep breath. Congratulations, guys. We're in the final round. We're gonna do this a little differently. We're gonna have only the final question have two people. So, do you want the scores right now or what?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Question number 7, Christian Brajas. There's an investing theory that views property ownership as less lucrative than investing in traditional vehicles such as index funds. Which is the better choice for your money, the real estate or the stock market?
Man, that's a loaded question. It really just depends entirely on your goals. I think it's commonly accepted. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's commonly accepted index funds yield an average of like 10% year over year, right? Before inflation. But you got to consider a handful of factors. Are you self-directing? Or are you paying an expense ratio that kills your gains? What age do you plan to retire? Are you going to have enough to live the lifestyle that you envision? What are the tax benefits and the drawbacks? For investing, 4 pillars of wealth: appreciation, amortization, tax benefits, and cash flow. Those are all great, but they also come with risk as well. And they also come with, you've got to have the knowledge to be able to harness those vehicles to make sure that it's actually beneficial for you. So, real estate, it's tangible. It can be leveraged. It retains its value often. It comes with great tax advantages, but it's not very liquid. There's unexpected costs. Retirement investing or index investing, it is liquid. It's highly passive, offers diversification, and low cost, low barrier of entry, but super volatile, not tangible, typically doesn't offer any sort of leverage to it. So it totally depends. 50-50 on that. I think it's definitely important to have an investment account for sure. But if you can't afford it and it's in the cards for you and it fits with your lifestyle, you got to get into real estate.
None of you two are jumping on this. Minus points.
I
again.
mean, I'll jump on it.
Yeah,
I thought you were the
jump on it
host.
then. Jump on it.
But so if I'm gonna keep it super simple here. Stock goes to zero, house goes to zero value wise. You can't live in a stock.
Okay, I love that. I have a fun stat for after when Chris Sui answers.
Yeah, so I kind of agree with both of those things that they said. I guess the short answer is real estate because you can leverage it, you can do things to it. It's more of a tool. You could rehab it, you could build an addition, you could rezone it, you can, rent it out to a government program or something that might come out. So there's always these different options you could do. You could always sell it. I guess you do the same. Most of the time you do the same with stocks, but there's more things you can do with it. And to Sam's point, with it, it's an actual thing that people need. It's a resource to live in. It's your home. It's one of the most important things. So it's never gonna be out of demand unless there's a huge population decline or something like that.
Everyone needs shelter. Shelter's
Shelter in place.
Yeah.
Freeze the
Yeah.
rent. Freeze the rent.
Safe.
So this is according to the Wall Street Journal. Since 1971 till 2025, the S&P 500 has outperformed real estate by approximately 350%. So, I think there's two probably cases there. A home is tangible. You can live in it. So, I kind of tend to agree with you guys. But, against conventional thinking, you throw it in the S&P. If you're seeing it as an investment, more than just a place to live, people might see those stocks more worth that squeeze. Alrighty, Chris Suey, final question before we eliminate someone. You win a year of free rent anywhere. Do you choose an NYC penthouse, a Malibu beach shack, or a cabin with no Wi-Fi?
This is for 1 year paid up.
Paid up.
Paid up. Just got to move in there. You got New York City penthouse, Malibu. What is it?
Beach shack.
Beach shack.
Yep. Or
Yeah, I'll go beach shack.
beach shack.
I'll go beach shack.
Yeah, why beach shack?
Yeah. I go beach shack because I feel like if paid up for a year, it's vacation. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not working. I'm living in Cali on the beach.
There you go. And then the next year is gonna be tough for Chris Suey. No work, coming back. Christian?
Yeah, I'm still working. So if I wasn't working, I would 100% go with cabin with no Wi-Fi. Enjoy the great outdoors. But I will be working from a Malibu beach shack. You will never find me in an NYC penthouse, that's for sure. But Malibu beach shack, I can walk the beach in the morning, have a coffee, looking at the waves. I can go spear fishing for dinner, kayaking, you name it. That would be amazing, and at the same time, still be able to wheel and deal in some real estate and help people achieve their goals. Heck yeah, give me the Malibu beach shack.
Sam?
I am going cabin in the woods, no Wi-Fi. I'm growing the beard out. I'm taking a year off. Everything's paid. Probably learning how to hunt. It's like therapy, but it's cheaper. Maybe write a novel. Really get in touch with my myself and just relax for a year. Take a year off. Enjoy life.
What are you hunting with?
Well, I'll probably bring Christian out there because he's the hunter in the group, and I don't know. We'll go bow hunting. We'll do a little. What are we doing? Little shotgun. What are we doing?
Oh yeah,
Little 22.
bird hunting, deer
Yeah.
hunting, bear hunting. You name it.
Anything.
We'll get out with the bow.
Well,
bow
listen,
season, rifle season.
I think
Don't get me started.
Since Sam's gonna defer, he's gonna be deferring himself this episode too. And with the score of 35 and lowest, he is the first person eliminated. So Sam, thank you for your time, energy, effort, all that good stuff. But that's not what we're looking for right now, So we have Chris Suey and Christian Brajas in the final episode. Not final. Well, it might be. They might, put me in prison or something.
Government shut down.
Yeah, government. You
shut
just
down,
don't
who
know.
knows?
You don't know. The Chinese, the Russians are testing nukes. We're testing nukes. Venezuela's a hot water. So we'll see. Final question. All right, boys. Thanks again for joining. Peace and love. Here we go. What's the most underrated quality buyers should look for in an agent?
I'll go ahead and take it. So, competency, integrity, what kind of value can the agent bring to the client before, during, and after the transaction? All of these flashy videos on social media are fantastic. There's a lot of great realtors out there who are making awesome content, but there's a lot of realtors out there who are just making content. So make sure that your agent is competent in your market. Just because they're licensed throughout the state doesn't mean that they're competent on the other side of the state. make sure your agent has a tremendous amount of integrity. You can look at their reviews. You can ask for past client testimonials, and what kind of value can your agent bring to you before, during, and after the transaction, because that goes a long way.
I wonder if the audience can hear Sam rummaging around his abode right now. Now he's twisting, turning. Chris
I think he
Suey,
just got crashed out for getting booted.
land this plane, Chris. Land this plane.
So I would say that the most underrated thing for an agent is someone that's in the game, who's in that market, and someone that is going to be in that market for a while, because no one wants to, if you're an investor, you have a comfortable relationship with an agent, you like them, and then they're not, they're not in the market anymore. They don't sell real estate. They might have a side hustle, or they might have another job, or they might halfway be in it. You don't want an agent that's halfway in it. You want an agent that's all the way in it, because it's a it's a beyond a full-time job. A house might pop up at 8:30 a.m. and you got to get your offer in by noon if the market's hot. You need someone that has their finger on the market, the pulse, that knows when the market's changing, what they can get for the house, what the house is worth, where their offer should be. So you just need someone that's in it full time, 100% for the long run in your local market.
Absolutely.
I really like both answers, and I didn't want to do it, but you're tied. So I think the only way to solve this is a live best of 3 rock, paper, scissors. So get your hands in front of your face so people can see. And here we go to see who wins. Episode 5.
On shoot.
I will be it. Ready? Rock, paper, scissor, shoot. Ooh, both rocks. I don't know if this is going to work, but this is going to work. Ready? Rock, paper, scissor, shoot. Ooh, Christian with 1. Okay, here we go. Rock beats the scissor. All right.
It's a leg.
This is it. Rock, paper, scissor, shoot. Oh, scissors again. Okay. One more time. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Chris, Suey, what did you throw?
1-1.
Wow, 1-1. 1-1. Wow. This is the highlight of the episode. All right. Rock, paper, scissor, shoot. Oh, Christian. Here he goes. Hello. We have ourselves our final confetti. Boop, 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 boop. There he is, the man, the myth. We got a new crown. We got confetti this time. Congratulations to Chris. This is how many times you've won? 3 times?
3 times.
Wow,
This
3
is the
times.
3rd time.
All right, give us your final statement.
Final statement. I'm actually going to give a shout out to Chris Suey. Chris, I don't want to butcher your quote the other day, but I saw you posted something amazing. I loved it, and it really spoke to me. You posted something, I believe, on Facebook the other day. You made an analogy between kitchen life, between back of house and front of house, and real estate life, and how it's so important that people who are often viewed as adversaries or behave as adversaries, it's so important that they come together and work together on behalf of the clients, because at the end of the day, without clients, we're not in business. So shout out to Chris Suey this week, because I absolutely loved that analogy. I used to work in the kitchen, and I used to be that guy in the back of the house who was like, man, front of the house, messing up again, right? But we never succeeded when we were button heads. We had our best nights when everybody was on the same page, and that totally translates to real estate.
Yeah, you have the best chef in the world, but he's fucking drunk and angry all day, yelling at everyone. No one's gonna be happy,
Listen, that's, that moved me. And Chris, you lost, and now Chris Suey is the winner. I mean, this guy is inspired. This guy is inspired. The cast, the whole dedicated 30-second monologue goes to the participant. So congratulations, Chris Suey, 2 for 2 on the wins. That's what I'm talking about. Driving success. Other agents seeing your stuff, making it applicable to the workplace. Congratulations, Chris Suey. Wow, what a turn of events. We had rock, paper, scissors. We had Christian winning, and then getting on his knees. I'm just sorry, YouTube. And then Chris Suey for the win. Wow. All right,
I love the curveballs that this show brings.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Peace and love. Until next time. Happy birthday, Tyrese Maxey. Go Sixers. Bam, 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 bam.